Hey guys, and welcome to our ankle breaker breakdown. In other words, our ankle autopsy. We're going to briefly go over the most important concepts to breaking people's ankles. We're also going to look at some film and tell you exactly why the defender got dropped. First and foremost, an effective crossover is changing speeds, changing levels, and changing directions. This is all amplified through deception. So as far as changing speeds goes, your defender is constantly subconsciously tracking your speed. So if you're playing at the same speed the entire time, it's very predictable and easy to guard. You might think that you're putting a lot of effort into it and you're going to burn them, but it's very rare to see somebody drop their defender just by doing that. You want to be able to go from slow to fast to a complete dead stop. So the first video we're going to break down is our guy Yusuf Kolomola from Canada. This is a prime example of dropping somebody by being able to change speeds and come to a complete dead stop. When you do this, you're using your defender's momentum against them, especially when they're in transition, like in this situation, because your defender's going to be backpedaling and anticipating you going at full speed towards the basket. And one of the most common elements for a dead stop is the hockey stop. We'll break this down a little more later, but it's essentially planting your foot perpendicular to your body. In other words, making a near 90-degree angle with your foot to provide more surface area and thus a better break. You also have to have a strong core to be able to control your forward momentum, but if your defender can't, boom, they're done. My guy's in the open court, and notice how relaxed he is. And understanding that momentum, that's all it took. Boom, dropped. Should have probably shot that though. The next is changing levels. So important, so underrated. And the master of changing levels is Allen Iverson. He's able to bring the ball up high and then cross over back low. So he's adding the concept of changing levels and speeds at the same time. And the key to this is ball manipulation. We have a drill called the water polo spin, and that's essentially allowing the ball to rotate in your hands. This buys your feet precious time to catch up with the ball. That momentary pause also allows you the opportunity to start reading your defender. Another way to manipulate the ball is the pocket dribble. I'm pretty sure invented by Michael Lancaster. The cuff series like Paul Favorites uses. And the common trait with these moves is it maximizes your hand's time on the ball, therefore giving you more control and more manipulation of where the ball goes in space. And finally, changing directions. The easiest way to drop somebody is changing directions, not just in the standard way east to west. The majority of times you see people get dropped is when the ball handler goes north-south. Again, the hockey stop is paramount for being able to go north-south. Look at still photos from NBA guys. Kemba Walker, Kyrie Irving. Look at their punch drag. Their foot is almost at a 90-degree angle. They have so much mobility and stability in their ankles that they're able to safely engage their hips in lower positions. This makes it seem like they're playing on a different frequency than other people. But the big key for changing directions is changing in 360 degrees of movement. Not just east-west, not just left-right. You have to get them going north-south and then cross over their frame going east-west. Deception is the final ingredient of an effective crossover. Allen Iverson is the master of deception. He's the original ankle bully. He has the complete package. If you look at the time he crossed Michael Jordan, you see the mobility in his ankles hitting freaky positions. You see him manipulating the ball, raising his shoulders to change levels, forcing Jordan to anticipate a pull-up, and then boom, crossing over the frame explosively. He's the master of deception. He's like a snake charmer. Defenders would get hypnotized watching him. So head fakes, shot fakes, change of speed fakes, hesitations where you're disrupting the predictable pattern of your movement, all of that falls under the category of deception. But there's an important ingredient to that that's commonly ignored, and that's being a complete player. You have to be a complete player. Think about it. It's very simple. If your defender isn't worried about you shooting, they can sag. If they aren't worried about you going left, they can guard your right. If you can do everything, they have to play you honestly. And this leads to overthinking, overanalyzing, and freezing players. Paralysis by analysis. That momentary pause where your defender is not in their body, they're not reacting, they're thinking. If you're able to create that, they're at your mercy. And this leads to my next point, understanding of timing. A lot of good ankles have been lost due to late recovery, like in the classic Zach Norville versus Jordan Poole series. It's preseason, both of these guys are rookies. Jordan Poole's trying to prove himself, and he's playing extra aggressive on his fellow rookie, Zach Norville, and he jumps the passing lane. So he's overextending. Norville understands this. He now knows that as soon as he catches the ball, Jordan Poole is going to be in recovery mode. He has complete control over him. So skip passes, if you catch a ball on an off-ball screen, situations like that where there's a forced recovery, that's the prime time to attack with a north-south deception. Just put yourself in that position. You're going through a gauntlet of screens, or you overextend, and you have to go cover your man. What are you going to do? It's a pain in the ass. So anything that makes it look like you're committing to a direction forces that recovering defender to commit. And if they're out of position, they have no other option but to overcommit. Now you have complete control of them, just like Zach Norville did, and boom, that's all she wrote. North, south, east, west, gone. This is very important to understand. So finally, you're looking at the autopsy, you're looking at what players can do, you're looking at common threads of these ankle bullies. And one thing that you're going to always find in the most elite is great ankle mobility and stability, and great proprioception in the feet. And that's what you're going to learn about in the following training. Everything else in this free program is devoted to just that, developing those feet, developing those ankles, and that's going to take your crossovers to the next level.